Okay, I just want to finish off yesterday's notes and then we're going to redo the notes, okay? But a different kind, I've got 2 sets of notes. All right, so we've got a rational or a fractional exponent, and I just want to remind you that the top, the numerator stands for the exponent, and the denominator stands for the root. Sorry, my dog's barking. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this base. This is a power right now, and we're going to turn it into a radical. So we're going to find the square root of 9, and then afterwards we are going to cube that answer. So what's the square root of 9? 3. What's 3 cubed? 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. Now I just want to show you something real quick here. Sometimes you're going to get asked, write this power as a radical in 2 different ways. Now I always write it like this, and I never really concern myself about writing it a different way, but you might have a different teacher or see in a textbook or a worksheet that it says that. And so I just want to show you what they mean because it's really not that big of a deal. So we would take 9 raised to the exponent 3/2, okay, and we know that this is the exponent, this is the root. So all they want you to do is write it like this, find the square root of 9, and then instead of putting the cube outside in brackets like I do, they put it under here. Now the reason why I don't like that is because initially that means that I'm going to find the cube of 9, which I don't know, you know, you might not know some of these numbers. It could say 17 cubed, and we don't know that. So I kind of like this because I can usually do these when I set it up like this without using a calculator, because I sort of follow some of my own kind of weird BEDMAS rules, right? Where I find the square root of that first and then I cube it. So just, it's all semantics, okay? Whichever way you like to set it up. Okay, exponent, root. So we are going to find the cube root of 8, and then we are going to square that. So again, I've set up my brackets like this. Cube root of 8 is 2. 2 squared is simply 4. Okay, over here, now we've got a fraction, and it's in brackets. So remember that the whole thing is going to go underneath the radical sign. So we're going to find the exponent is going to be 3, and the root is going to be square. So we're going to set it up as a square root. And then after we find that answer, we're going to cube it. So square root of 4 is 2, square root of 25 is 5, and now we're going to cube that. Okay, and this is why I did the exponent laws first. We got to remember that this is going to go here, power of a quotient, and also to the denominator. So what's 2 cubed? It is 8. What is 5 cubed? 125, and that's your final answer. Okay, so don't overthink this. I know this looks weird, but it's doable, and we just did it all in our head, and I know you guys could do that too. Okay, so don't worry about this. I know it says do these questions, but we're not ready for that yet because we're not in class together. So, all right, so I just want you to do the 4.4 notes over again, and this is just a different set of notes that I've written. Okay, so I've got the answer key, but I would have gone through with you just like this, and so I'm going to post that on the Google Classroom too. So I just want to get you started here. Okay, so we're just going to do a few together. So remember exponent, root, and I'm an old lady and I write that down every single time. I'm going to find the cube root of 27. So written as a power, how we solve this is we write it as a radical. What's the cube root of 27? 3. Okay, so now we have a decimal number, a rational written as a decimal. I always write it as a fraction. That's just how I roll. Exponent, root. You could punch this into a calculator. You could find the square root of 49/100ths, but I just can do this sort of in my head, so I think why not, right? Okay, and when we have an exponent of 1, that's beautiful because an exponent of 1 doesn't change anything. So 7/10. That's my answer. Totally doable in our head. Okay, exponent, root, written as a power. We're going to rewrite it as a radical. The base of our power becomes our radicand, the thing that goes underneath. We're going to find the cube root. Ask yourself, can I find the cube root of a negative number? Indeed, I can. If the index is odd, this is doable. My answer would be -4. Now we got a fraction here. So this is the base. It becomes the radicand. We're going to find the square root of 4/9, 2/3. Okay, so I'm going to challenge you. So this is day 2 of us sort of going through this. These ones are going to get a little bit tougher. Okay, so I'm going to jump down here right away. Okay, so we have -32 raised to the exponent 4/10. And as soon as I read that, I know, there's my fraction, because you're thinking, where's the fraction? And we always want to reduce. So now we have -32 raised to the exponent 2/5. Exponent, root. I'm going to find the 5th root of -32. Is that doable? Indeed it is, because 5 is an odd number. And then I'm going to square that answer. So what's the 5th root of -32? It's -2. When I square that, I get positive 4. So don't get stressed out by those, okay? You have place value in your wheelhouse, so this is going to be 2/10, which I would reduce to 1/5 exponent root. So now you're going to find the 5th root of 32, raise it to the exponent 1, which doesn't change the answer. Okay, so give this a whirl on your own and then take a look at the answer key and see how you did. Okay, happy Friday.